So part of our project activities is to have forums like this. Forums like this allows us to have offline engagements. Then we go on to also collect the information, as I said earlier, and share. Then the training also goes on. And part of Ghana Decides, we did social media training. So what we are doing is also monitoring the media houses and the CSOs that use the training that we provided. So for this batch of trainees, if we go and sit back 6 months time, we see that you've not used the training. Next time when we are having training sessions, we won't invite you because we believe that you are not going to make use of it. So follow up to the training we did in 2024. We are going to add some of these organizations. What have we done so far? We've created an online platform. We've put out a lot of blog posts via our social media channels. We've held stakeholder sessions. We've had training sessions. We've also used Google Hangouts for discussions. We've had Twitter and Facebook chats alongside debates. And if you look behind me, I know you can see clearly, but if you go to www.InformGhana.com, you will see this platform. You can look at health-related discussions. You can look at education-related.
For about past 5 years, it is very difficult for government to supply basic inputs at the basic level. We can talk about simple things like chalk, registers, textbooks, syllabi, and the likes. They are not forthcoming. Government has a lot of policies that is there to enhance teaching and learning, but the response from government is very low, almost non-existent. We lack logistics. Schools lack a lot of logistics. We don't have them. They are not forthcoming. And also another thing we identified was that policies over the years have been tailored in such a way that some very important areas of child development is being neglected. For example, we look at physical education, which is very important in the development of the child at the basic level. But today, what do we see? Even schools that already has playgrounds, just playing games. And when we continue to build schools or allow schools to exist at that level without playgrounds to allow children to be developed in these areas, and we focus too much on just the academics, we end up producing children that cannot manage information when they get to a higher level. So that is. Then another thing we also identify is the negative use of technology. Today, most of our children have smartphones, they have access to internet and stuff of that sort. But what do they use them for? Watching films, watching pornography. You'll be surprised a JSS 1 child has about 10 videos and they are all pornography. They are in school, teacher is teaching and they are watching. Instead of using the technology to enhance their studies, they take delight in looking at things that the negative use of technology has also affected us so much. And also one other thing we have identified is that lack of mentorship or role models. We have a lot. As my colleague was introducing the subject, he talked about gone were the days where when we are counting about 10 professors, 7 is coming from the Volta region. How many of them come back to the region to encourage our young ones? How many of us even know that these learned people are coming from the region and that we can also aspire to be like them? So that gap is also there. Yes, another important issue also that came up was that throughout our search, our schools are without libraries. for our kids to go there and sit down and learn. If the child at this age is not introduced to reading enough, how do you build that when you get to it? So our schools will need libraries, books, reading books. Today you go to the schools, textbooks are not there. A class of about 30, you can find only 6 English reader, 3 maths book. For subjects like RMP and the rest, they are not existent. They are not in existence at all. So how do we want to bring up children if we lack all these logistics and think that we'll be able to achieve the needed results that we want? Another area is, even at the district offices, it is difficult for the office to run. You go there for any information, they tell you, government have not released funds, we are not been able to do this, we are not been able to do that. How long do we wait? How long do we wait? You remember, let's look at the content and the number of subjects that are being taught at the basic level today. For example, the first time I saw a topic in maths on sex was when I entered the secondary school, and it was taught at that time at what? Form 3 level in secondary school. Today at class 4, children are introduced to sex. Now, and if you take science and other subjects, that is the same thing that it's happening. Things that were done at the secondary school or middle school level in the past, it's now being taught at the basic level. Yet, we still have one teacher teaching from maths to RMB. Meanwhile, all these areas has developed, and we have gotten to a stage where we need a specialized knowledge to teach some of these things at the basic level. So that is also causing a major problem. You have a teacher who may be good at teaching mathematics, good at teaching English, but may not be as good in teaching science. But the basic level, they need this in a deeper form of understanding for them to be able to build on when we go to a higher level. Now, I think I have spoken enough about some of the courses that we have. Today, it is difficult for young and upcoming citizens to sit at one place and work for long. What has accounted for this? These are some of the effects that we have as a result of not doing the right thing at the basic level. Today we talk of graduates that don't have employable skills. The question I ask is, were they not taught in the same schools that our fathers were taught? Were they not in the same universities as our fathers? How come that the same job that our fathers who went to the same university that we are going today have that employable skill, and we today don't have the employable skills? Because there was something wrong. And if you understand the stages of development, we will all realize that we need to go back to the basics, because that is where our future is built.
Personally, I have an encounter with some few students at the basic level, and you realize that they have problem with mathematics and English. Most of the times you ask a student, how are you faring with your course, and they say, oh, everything is okay except the mathematics. And this is pertaining to the ladies. And you realize that now in Ghana, if you do not pass English and mathematics, you can't continue to any tertiary institution. My question is the education sector doing something about this mathematics and English? Because I can see that there is no motivation or there is no orientation for our sisters at the basic level. So we have the mentality that mathematics is difficult. For that matter, when you go to the SS, because of the perception that it's difficult, we end up performing poorly.
We all know that the Constitution of Ghana especially chapter 6 and article 38, spoke about our educational objectives. And one of the issues is that government is supposed to make provision facilities available for education, especially in the basic education sector. But we all know that responsibility does not lie only with the government. There are 4 stakeholders in educational support or in educational ladder. Those stakeholders includes government, includes parents, includes teachers, as well as the very child that goes to school. Now, if all the 4 stakeholders, including the child, does not perform its responsibility, then you have a problem with what we have now, especially the declining education or declining results that we have seen of late. First of all, he talked about the neglect of funding from government. Indeed, he also spoke about a few things concerning the supply of educational facilities and infrastructure. He talked about the syllabus that are not there. I beg to differ. I don't know if you have teachers there. There are a lot of, I know government has some
using the internet. Even in the private school, they are using the internet for teaching. Now, in teaching, if you say it is the elite schools, fine, I will accept that. But most of the schools in the urban areas are using ICT for teaching. And then Honorable cited an example where this form of video conferencing, they do exchange program on teaching. That's why I say at the elite level. But at the GS level, they need the internet for their research. So we need to encourage that. What we need to add again is the extracurricular activities, like the debating class, no more there. This was a process that was helping to enhance the speaking skills of the students. Now, you don't see most of them. They are even not there. This science and the maths quiz, they are the extracurricular group associations that are there. We need to promote them now so that they see the essence of these activities so that they adapt it. The mentorship, I strongly agree with you that that one is totally not there, because GS man will tell me they train the people in guidance and counseling.
I'm a technology person, so I'll talk about the emphasis on pornography and all of that. I think that parenting has been left to teachers. Meanwhile, the teacher's priority is imparting knowledge. Yes, when the child goes to school, the teacher automatically becomes the parent. But then again, maybe in the classroom, they're not going to use the phone. They'll go home and use it. The parents also need to find out, they need to go a step further and understand the technology and be able to maybe vet what the child is doing. Because truly, if you have a child and the child is this young, you hold the child's hand when the child is crossing the road, right? And you impose certain things on the child. And it looks like parents have left all of that. They are not holding the child's hand, literally, they are not doing that at all. So they left them to do what they have to do. In that case, they go out there, they learn things from their friends, they learn things from all sorts of people. You can't blame the government for that. Now, if you're saying the government should censor, so should they become a China or maybe Myanmar or something and block us from having access to maybe information? You force the government to do things that truly it's not their responsibility. They are to make sure that we have technology. We are to try and use the technology in a positive manner. So parents have to do more and ensure that the kids are using the technology to learn and use technology positively. That's my message.
Let's say I'm good at writing poems, stories, things, and then I decide to do general art. But my dad says no, he wants me to do offer science, as in to become a doctor or something. My interest is not there. So if you send me to school, yes, as one of the listeners said, if you ask me why I'm in school, because my parents said I should go to school. I'm not offering the course I want to offer. So to me, I see offering that course as like respecting my parents, doing what they want me to do, not what I want to do. So if parents will allow us to make our own choices as to what I want to do, I think we can put a stop to